Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Catherine Kaufman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show, Monday Night Live in Lexington. It has been a beautiful day here in Lexington, Kentucky. It got a little bit warm today. We got a little bit of a break from the winter cold. A little few rays of sun came out, and we got a peek at spring a little bit today. So those of you that are on my TV channel, Catherine Kaufman Psychic Medium TV, I left a link on that page so that if you want to join the live chat, all you have to do is hit that link and hop on over to my personal page to join the chat. Hey to you guys on Instagram. Hey to Patty and my girl Lacey. Thanks for joining me this evening. Let's do some shout outs over here on Facebook. And I see things look a little different on Facebook today. Hey to Lana, Daniel, Jasmine, Melissa, Martin, and Debbie, and Melissa Begley. Special shout out to Melissa and her awesome sidekick, Miss Cleo. Hey to George McKinney. Thanks for joining me tonight. So tonight is a special episode. We're going to go over vocation and soul purpose. And this is something that I have personal experience with, because in 2013 I made the leap from ICU nursing and nursing administration to full-time professional psychic medium. So I have personal experience with making a huge change. Now, as you guys know, and hey to Anna Rose, this episode is actually for Anna Rose. Special dedication to Anna Rose for this episode. I had planned on doing it, but not this soon. But I wanted to provide this for Anna. Hey to Corey Southworth and Ina and Lyric and Christina. Thanks for joining me this evening. So ask questions in the comment section, and I will try to catch them as quick as I can. For some reason, Facebook has kind of changed the format this week, and I'm seeing that I can't really go back to look at comments. So I'll try to catch them as quick as I can. So hey to Joyce Sells and Christy Osborne Glass and Linda Peevely Maggard. Special shout out to you. And Missy Ferguson Isaacs. Thanks for joining me tonight. So what is your vocation or soul purpose, and how do you find it? Like, everybody has a yearning for a specific or a calling for a vocation or a soul purpose, but you know, how do we discover that when we have gotten lost in, you know, a job or a career and a family, and really tied down and not able to be free to pursue that dream of a vocation or a soul purpose? Thanks, Christina. She says she loves the Valentine decor. This is the month of love, and so I've made it kind of love-oriented with the hearts. And we got some flowers today for Valentine's Day coming up this week. So let me check Instagram over here. Hey to William Godwin. And thanks for joining me tonight on Instagram. And if you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll have to see if I can get to them. So our vocation is where our greatest need, and that means our soul drive, our greatest need meets our greatest desire. Okay? That is the vocation. It's a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. Not all of us have a vocation or a calling. A lot of us have jobs, we have careers, and that's kind of what I had before I decided to change my paradigm and go with the vocation or the calling. So a person's employment or main occupation is especially regarded as particularly worthy and requiring great dedication if it is the vocation. All right. So you could say her vocation was as a poet, or their vocation was as a psychic, or their vocation was a movie production person. So let's look at the word a little bit closer, and the word career, because the origins of vocation and career really reveal a lot about the two differences there. The word vocation comes from the Latin word vocare, or to call. So you can associate that with, it's a calling, okay? It denotes a voice summoning a person to a unique calling or a unique purpose. The word career derives from the Latin word for cart and the Middle French word for racetrack. So that denotes, or that really kind of denotes going in a circle around in a racetrack in a cart, never really going anywhere, never really arriving. And we're going to go into that a little bit more when we talk about careers, because this is very revealing. Let me do a couple more shout outs, and I'm sorry the feed has gone past, and Facebook has changed things this week. I can't go back and look at the past people that have joined, but I'm just going to start with the top of the page. Hey to Brenda, Tony, Barbara, Soror, Kathleen, Sherry, Sandra, Melissa, Kemp, and Bev Man. Thanks for joining. And over here on Instagram, thanks to ArmNPH. Thanks for joining us today. So there are many ways that finding a career or a vocation that you can do. One of the things is to find solving a problem, and that's a big thing. Like in your life, if you have a problem or you have a need, how are you going to solve that? How are you going to deal with that? Maybe if that problem or solving that need isn't provided, and it's something that you need or that you crave, that could be your vocation or your calling. Maybe that is something that you could provide. But that would be something that you would really have to look at. So let's delineate the difference between jobs, careers, and vocations or callings. So let's start with number one. Hey to Charlotte and Jeannie. The job. The job is those who see their work as a job, or who belt it out every day. And you work with a lot of energy, but you work based on, okay, I'm going to work for 3 months to get to that vacation. All right. I'm going to work for the week to get to those 2 days off on the weekend. So the job simply is a means to an end. You know, it provides you with the money for the car. It provides you with the money for the house. It provides you whatever you need, and you just kind of work to get to that break, or you work to get to the goal of getting the house or getting the car, or getting the vacation or whatever. That is the job. It's simply a paycheck. There's no vested interest in the job other than what it provides for you. So what's the difference between the job and the career? Now I found this really interesting, and let me make sure there's no questions. So Susan says, inquiring minds of Indiana say hello. Shout out to Indiana. And Lana says, I know I'm at a job and wish for my true calling soon. Yes. Stay tuned, Lana. I know we can't probably get through all of this material in one episode. This may be, and there probably will be 2 episodes, but really take notes for this. This is so important. And stay tuned for part 2 because this is really, really going to help you out. Okay, so let's go over career. The person with a career derives meaning not from the nature of the work itself, but from the gratification that comes from advancing through the ranks. So let's take the nurse, for example, because I used to be a nurse. I still am a nurse. I still have my license and everything, but let's say you start out as a 2-year degree nurse and you conquer that, okay? And so the system in nursing is you never arrive. There's always something else that you have to do or something else that you have to achieve. So as soon as you get that 2-year degree and you think you've arrived at nursing, you're just set up to achieve more. So then it is, okay, you have to get your BSN. So then you work hard, you go to school, you work at the same time, you achieve your BSN. Then once you get there, you're still not satisfied. And the system is set up for you not to be satisfied. And then you want to get your MSN. And so you are still working, going to school part-time, you get your MSN, and you get your advanced degree, and then you want to do nurse practitioner or something along those lines. That's still not it. There's still something more that the system is pushing you to do. And they're calling for you to get your PhD. Okay, go teach, get your PhD. So careers are designed to advance you through the ranks, earning promotions and raises. And this motivates the careerists to put in extra time and extra work that doesn't necessarily stop when they punch out. So you're always doing something. You're never arriving at the station. You're forever on the train going around and around. And then when you finally get to the PhD and it stops, you become unsatisfied and frustrated. But that's how the system is set up for the careerist. You never get to arrive. And once that train is stopped, you're frustrated because there's nothing else to achieve. There's nowhere else to go. So that's the difference between a job and a career. Now let's talk about the vocation or the calling. A vocation is something that you do for yourself, okay? It's for you. You would probably do this vocation even if you didn't get paid, okay? The rewards are satisfaction to your own self and to your energy. This is the difference between the vocation, the career, and the job. So what the best of all worlds is to get paid and make a living from the vocation or the calling. And we're going to go through the process of how to do that. And I'm going to give you my personal experience of my transition from nursing administration to full-time psychic. So let's look over here at Instagram. Haida Barbera, thanks for joining me tonight. Let me make sure there aren't any questions over here on Facebook. I don't see any, but like I said, Facebook has changed things today, and I can't really scroll through the feed like I usually do. So that's kind of weird, but we're just going to roll with it tonight. So, all right. So life and satisfaction and happiness is what our goals are. A vocation encompasses more than the work or what you're paid for. It taps into your life purpose, your soul purpose. It's really fulfilling, satisfying, and it prevents this indescribable restlessness that you feel in a job or a career. So, and the job or the career and the restlessness is like you need to be doing something, and I feel like it is your subconscious pushing you to have that satisfaction, to realize some of the potential that is locked away inside of yourself. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, is the potential that is resting inside of yourself. Now, this was an interesting fact I want to share with you guys. On an average, baby boomers change their jobs or careers up to 11 times within their lifetime. And they're looking at this number of changes increasing as we approach this year and next year through 2018 and 2019. So let's go over one of the things that you can do, and then we're going to go over like the fears that stop you, what prevents you from going ahead with your vocation or your soul purpose. But one of the ways to find your soul purpose or your vocation, you want to enlist your friends and family, because a lot of people can't third party look at themselves and evaluate what am I even involved in or liking? What are my likes and dislikes? Some people get so wrapped up in living for somebody else, like catering to a partner or to children, that they actually lose their own interests and their own complexity of their being. They lose that. And so when I ask them, what are your favorite things, or even what is your favorite color, I will get a blank stare back from them. Some of the people that I work with actually don't know what their favorite color even is. Now, that is a sure sign that you need to remove yourself back, take a long look in the mirror, and rediscover yourself, because what you've done is you've vested too much interest in others and not enough in yourself. So first off, you've got to know who you are. One of the ways to find out more about who you are is to ask your friends or ask your partner, what am I good at? What benefits do I bring to your life? You know, what do you think my strengths are? What are my weaknesses? And then don't get self-defensive about it. You have to be open. This is information that you need for self-discovery, to rediscover who you are so that you can go forward with this vocation or soul purpose. Hey, over here to God Grace Harris on Instagram, and my feed has totally stopped on Facebook, so I cannot see who else is joining or the comments, which is really disturbing because I know that there are a bunch of comments. So let me see if I can get it going again, and it's not. So let me jump over to the TV channel and do some shout outs there. Hey to Sonia, Heather, Mary, Misty, and Courtney. Thanks for joining me this evening. I will try to hop back over here and catch your comments too. And Misty Domes English on my TV channel has done kind of the same thing that I'm doing. She has changed her vocation or calling completely, and she is doing Young Living essential oils. So if any of you have any questions or you need to have teaching or information on Young Living oils, hop over to my professional TV channel. It's Catherine Kaufman Psychic Medium TV, and go to the comments, Misty Dones English, shout out to you, and ask her, hook up with her for some Young Living essential oils. So, all right, let's continue. So you really need to enlist your friends, your family, your partner, and asking them, what things am I good at? What do I bring to the table? What do you consider about me that's valuable? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? You need to know what your weaknesses are, and don't get defensive about it. Thanks for the hearts. Love you. Do a strength finder experiment, okay? These are the questions you need to ask. So you may want to take notes. Okay, first question is, what is your favorite strength about me? Okay, what is the reason you have me as a friend or a partner? What have I taught you? What have you learned from me being associated with me? And in what ways have I been a gift to you in your life? Those are kind of going to clue you into your strengths that you can really build on. Okay. Embracing your calling means that you're shutting off the voices of other people that you've heard in the past that say what you ought to do or what you should do, and not connecting with your living true real self. So you have to not listen to those voices that go on in your head over and over about, well, you need to go on to get your PhD, or you need to study harder and go back to school. If it's not in your heart and it's not your calling, it is going to fall in that job or career classification. And at the end of the road, you're going to be dissatisfied. Hey to Fiorin Woods and Dana Dallas. Thanks for joining me on Instagram tonight. So I promise you guys, I know this feed is frozen on my personal page. I promise you guys I will go back and answer all the questions that you have tonight. I'm not sure why it's doing this, but it's highlighting everything in green, which is really weird. It hasn't done that before. But I will go back and get your comments, so don't worry about it. So let's go over the myths of the vocation. So the number one myth is that there's one specific calling or one specific vocation that you're meant to do. I agree with this in dispelling this myth. I think that we have several things that we could do. There's not just one calling for you guys. Take me, for example. I enjoyed nursing while I was doing it, but it wasn't my vocation or calling. It could have been if I were to have been allowed to do nursing the way that I feel that it should have been done, with more time and more nurturing and more attention to the patient. But that's not available in our system today. So this vocation and calling that I have now allows me to take as much time as I want with each and every client, paying specific attention to their needs, addressing all those needs, and trying to help them through their situation. That provides satisfaction to me. So, but you guys may not know, I have a food blog as well as all of this that I try to keep up with. I need to do more on the food blog, but you know, could I do another vocation? Yes, if I had another life, I would do like a total food blog and just throw myself into blogging just about food, you know, 24/7, because I'm so interested in all the different foods and, you know, all the different nationalities of foods and all of the different herbs and spices and flavors that can be put together, and I want to share that with you guys. So that's a total other area that I could do. So thank goodness we have reincarnation in other lives, because I may just come back and try to do full-time food blog as that. So there's not just one thing. that you are meant to do. There's several things based on your individual abilities that you can expand on. So the number one myth is that there's one specific occupation. Not true. There's several that you can do. So myth number 2, vocations are limited to special or elite jobs like physician, writer, astronaut, minister. No, that is not true. You may have a vocation or a calling to work in the stables at Keeneland, to be next to animals, to work as a veterinary assistant. Things don't have to be elite. They don't have to be, you know, special. It's just whatever your energy is called to do. So, you know, if your energy is called just to be relaxed and maybe be a janitor and clean up and make sure the kids have, you know, clean space to come into the next day, and you don't want the stress of all the stuff that goes with a high-powered job, that's great. That's your calling. That is your vocation. And I am all for that. Not everybody is set out to do certain things. The reality is that, you know, each of us is designed to do something that's in our vibration or our resonant area. And whatever you're drawn to, just pay attention to that resonance. So sorry about the questions. I apologize, you guys. This feed is frozen and it's really weird. It's all in green, which makes me think that something is messed up with Facebook tonight. So almost any job, that's what I want to say, is almost any job can be your vocation or calling. It does not have to be anything high-powered or special. It just has to speak to your heart. Okay. Myth number 3, a vocation is synonymous with a job. The reality is, it really gets to the heart of our misunderstanding about vocation. A calling is not a job title. It's not a specific line of work. If that were true, once you were fired or retired, or became disabled in a way which you could no longer do your old job, you would cease to have that calling. This is not the case. Your calling is out there when you're born, and it follows you to the grave because it is based on your specific abilities. So you can't outlive it. It follows you, and it's this restless feeling, and it pushes you to do better or to find the vocation. So let's get back to what is a vocation again. The vocation consists of your gifts that you possess, your abilities. And your abilities aren't narrow. That's why it's not, you know, secluded to that one thing. Your abilities are varied. You have several abilities that you have at your calling. So you can have several different vocations that are available to you within your lifetime. So your job isn't your calling, your career isn't your calling, the vocation or the sole purpose is your calling. So finding your vocation means finding the common thread in the things you love to do. So there's a similarity in all these things that you love to do. The things that you're passionate about, the things that you're interested about, and the things that you feel you are suited for. So take notes, okay? These are things like building things, fixing things, investigating things, making connections, building relationships, healing wounds, being humorous, you know, causing people to laugh, persuading people, organizing things. Maybe you're good with numbers. Maybe you are a good communicator and you resolve disputes. Maybe you optimize things well. Maybe you can make deals well. Maybe you're a really good initiator at projects, so you like to start things. Maybe you are a good designer, so you need to think about what things on this list are you the best at. So we're running out of time, but I want to tell you, before we go on to part number 2 later on another Monday Night Live in Lexington, I want you to get somebody, a friend, your partner, whoever, ask them to do that analysis on you and ask them, what gifts have I been given that, enhance your life? What do I do that makes your life better? So Susan says, I feel that my purpose at work is not to climb the ladder of success, but I can't see the rest of the comment. Hey to Hiromi Angel Medium from Japan. Thanks for joining me this evening. And a shout out to Sherry in Clarksville. Hopefully the next Monday Night Live, my feed will work and I'll be able to see all your comments. But I really want you, between now and the next episode, I want you to discover what your best traits are, what your benefits are, what your strengths are, how you improve other people's lives. What we're going to go over with part 2, let me tell you, because this is really big. What we're going to go over in part 2 is discovering what brings you joy. Sorry. This is big. The things that stop us. I would have done this probably 10 years ago, but I engaged in a lot of these things that stopped me from doing what I'm doing today. And I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share all the things that stop us. How do we self-sabotage? I'm going to share that with you on the next episode. What all our fears are, and how we put our obstacles up. We're the ones that do that. We're the ones that place the obstacles in our own path. So I'm going to share all that with you, and I'm also going to share my particular story on how I made the move from full-time nursing administrator to full-time professional psychic. Now, I had been doing this work for 30 years on the side. I never had the guts to just step out and do it until 2013. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I did that and show you the techniques that I used to do that. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. And I apologize for the feed not working. I can't even page through it. So I will get to your comments though. But let's find out what's for dinner, David.
Yakisoba. Literally fried noodles.
Fried Japanese noodles were and it's the black pork.
Like pork. Carrots, cabbage.
What kind of
gotta
mushrooms?
have cabbage in it. White beach mushrooms.
White beach mushrooms. We got carrots, onions, cabbage.
Gotta have the cabbage.
And then the secret sauce that goes on the noodles when you fry them.
Secret sauce.
Yes. Thank you, David. I'm signing out. Thanks to all of you on Instagram for joining me. Sunshine Baby Bug, thanks for joining me. And to all you guys on my personal page, hey to Trisha Langley and Sandra and Tony. And everybody on my TV channel, thanks for joining me too.
And when we go to eat, we'll say,
Itadakimasu. Bye, guys.